Alright, welcome everyone to another episode of the All Mage Party. After last time's autism, also sorry about once more turning this into like a bi-weekly show instead of a weekly gathering. Circumstances being the case for many members that this happens this way. A small recap
Sorry,
for
luck.
You don't have to tell the people, Cal. It could have been AC's fault. Who knows?
The people deserve to know.
Yeah.
Anyway, last time, everyone arrived at the carnival, including 2 Alpha, who went mostly unmentioned for last time's episode, but she must be here. There's no avoiding your homunculus ally that easily, AC.
I think it's just funnier though to have the homunculus just have been forgotten, left in the market. Like, where'd they go?
Yes, things are sometimes neglected by a DM with short memory and like 3 different characters that have to play per scene because goddamn we still have William here. Anyway,
Yes.
yeah, so after some delaying tactics, is what I'm going to call it, with right at the gate, everyone was let into the carnival with AC's character Isaac rapidly ferrying everyone over. They saw some magical sights. Arizim almost got pickpocketed by a child. And then they moved over to some outhouses and really enjoyed inspecting the signage there.
That's not a fair representation.
It did not become a maximum.
It changed. There was change every time we made a change to the inputs. There was feedback. You fed into it too.
I don't know what you're talking about. It was a completely unanomalous outhouse. No autistic investigation occurred thereafter.
Burton
All right.
was just totally auditioning for a part. He didn't have any idea that would happen if he went up to the hotel.
Fucking inside jokes. Anyway, so you guys left the outhouse area succinctly, going back into the crowds of people walking about the carnival circus environment. Hopefully so bright. Anyway, everything appears much brighter before, even as the skies darken overhead. The hanging lights seem to adjust with the missing daylight. As you guys travel on to the crowds, 2 Alpha begins talking seemingly to herself. And is anyone wishing to listen?
Sure, I'll listen.
I'll listen to the femoid.
If it's a constructed femoid, is it really a femoid?
No,
It's
constructed
a superior
femoid.
femoid.
It's superior to a femoid.
I suppose she's a gynoid then.
Does she breathe?
Does she breathe?
She's a thought.
Is the question, is she a thought falling? Anyway, she starts seemingly vocalizing out her internal thoughts, rambling about illusions, and she says, maybe the deceiver? And that's pretty much all everyone can recount from her muttering to herself. well, not Isaac. It's William that's merely leading the way into the crowds. You guys have spent a couple minutes traveling, and you're not much closer to the big tent.
You best keep following the retard before he hurts himself.
And you were about to say?
Isaac would have been very disappointed that we're leaving the magic toilets, not completely investigated.
We'll come back when there's less clowns.
I know. You had business to take care of in there. Number 2, I take it.
You see, Isaac had not even found out how to number 2 in the magic toilets. Because some of them were upside down. Some of them led to weird places.
That's easy.
If you pooped in the upside down toilet, would the poop go up, or would it just continue with gravity?
I'm not going to address issues in the toilet right now because you're not investigating the toilets any longer.
We now have a ban on toilets.
We are investigating the toilets in our hearts. Don't worry about it.
Well, I don't have to answer the questions that you come up with in your heart.
Alex suggests that perhaps if we eat some of the carnival food, then that will give us reason to return to the toilets to investigate how they work.
I don't trust this carnival food, but sure.
Yeah, what is happening in the carnival around us?
Reminds me, I should have been playing this.
It reminds me, like, we're now at a carnival for some reason because of people wanted to follow the retard.
Yes, William got a ticket, and everyone wanted to follow along, see what was happening. And indeed, it is the greatest show in this world so far. Not that you guys have been to any shows in this world, much less a festival. Well, maybe except Bright.
Shit. The show can be called adequate.
Yes, it's
Do any of the clowns overhear him?
It's the most adequate show in the world.
the most adequate show in the world. No, but someone breathing fire does cover the air overhead with a strangely serpentine pattern of fire, not a normal jet of flame out of an alcoholic's mouth. After a few more minutes of walking in the direction of the big tent, you find alley's not the correct word, a parting between 2 other tents, and then there's like there's a pair of tents with the dark blue dyed cloth facing each other. One of the tent on the left, there's a person that barks out, "Fortune telling, come here and see in the crystal ball where your future lies." And the other tent opposite to that, "Why gaze into the future? What you truly need to know is where you've come from."
We already know where we've come from. I recommend the future tent. After all, we are hunting something we don't know where is, right? I swear,
William does rub his chin and remarks, the future would indeed be helpful.
Fia ignores everyone. No, Fia ignores everyone and just goes to the guy who says he knows the past, the history.
Okay. Fia, you walk up to that tent, and within there's a a table and a man hooded with blue robes sitting there. On one side of the table is a deck of cards turned face down. He gestures to a stool on the opposite end of the table from him and says, please do sit. Offer up a silver coin for recounting of your past and where you are currently.
So I ignore him as well and just ask him how he does his thing.
The hooded man chuckles. Clowns and mages alike never reveal their secrets.
Isaac is making under his breath backhanded comments on the Femoid leaking our backstory yet again.
But then he says, if you're truly interested, I can give you a demonstration of what I do.
How much did you say? Silver?
1 silver coin.
Oh, fucking have it then.
Alright then. He takes the silver coin and he puts it on top of the deck of cards. Then he holds the deck in both hands and shuffles it in a way that doesn't seem like he'd actually be changing the order of the cards at all. He then pauses, not making eye contact with Fia, looks down at the table and then slaps down 3 cards face down.
Can Isaac get a sense motive?
You can sense motive, yeah. You don't know shit.
I can tell that man is a trickster, and I just want to know if he's using actual magic.
Look, all gypsies use magic.
You can detect magic on him.
Yeah, I was looking for detect magic on my list.
You want to use your detect magic?
It's a cantrip.
Yeah?
Yeah, I didn't write my cantrips down. Shit.
Being that Valak has an interest in like card games and games of chance, can he use sleight of hand to see if the guy did anything surreptitious with the cards?
You can roll sleight of hand. I'm going to tell you the result is, as I told you, doesn't look like any cards were moved whatsoever.
Did we see the underside of any of the cards
No.
during shuffling?
It was more like he held the cards in his hand and he like pulled them apart like and then put them back together like he was playing a small accordion between his hands. And Valak, you've in your experience of trying to cheat people in games of cards, you don't notice any of the telltale signs of someone slipping a card into a sleeve or slipping one out or something similar. All right.
Well, let's hear the reading.
All right. So he points at the card that's nearest to where he formerly placed the deck. He has now placed the deck on the where did I say he was? To his right, to his now left. He points at the card to Fia's left and says, This indicates your past. He turns the card over and there's a picture of the of some woods, and even a label that just says woods.
Not your typical tarot cards.
I was about to say that.
Not your typical tarot cards. He says, you come from a place far removed from society. These are what the woods tell me. Your family likely has never talked or visited with civilization at large. It was indeed a great surprise when you were birthed and had lived on into childhood, for these were not very welcoming circumstances in your family's world. But things change, as they often do. He moves his pointer finger to the card over to Fia's, well, one card over, and he flips it over. There's a drastic change in what would have been the nature scene depicted in the woods. There's still plant life there, but it's depicting a garden. You grew up in a more controlled environment. There were, yes, signs of nature and things of interest to you. You might have even gotten distracted at times just staring into the beautiful bounties they're in. But it's not truly nature, was it? It was always something manufactured, artificial. And you didn't care for that much, did you? You wanted to see more of where nature reaches, correct? Before hearing much of an answer, he moves his pointer over to the next card and flips it over. On there is a haggard old woman with a hunched back. The crone. What you are now is someone trapped by circumstance. Ages have made it to where you can't leave the comforts that were created from your childhood. Though you may wish to wander out far, you have something holding you back. Something containing you into a space, always wanting to return to the garden. This is much of your past and your present. There are more specifics, perhaps, that I can shed. Yours is a strange circumstance. He simply waves his hand over the cards, and the faces are now blank, as if they were just regular scraps of paper. But such precise futures require more risk and more reward.
How much is this guy asking for?
Arizim, do you want to ask that question? Or did Bright ask that question yourself?
Another question instead. He doesn't reveal his secrets, so I'm trying to think of a question that would basically have him reveal some information that would be helpful in discovering where exactly I'm from. Basically, asking something about if he can, what kind of specifics he can tell.
Oh, I can tell all sorts of things, though the specifics may be vague on regions. I'm not going to be able to tell the name of a township or the precise coordinates if you find a map. Well, I may be if you find a map that is accurate, but I'm not going to be able to tell you like some number and you'll find any map that it works for. Let's see. He rubs his hairless chin. How about this? You hand me one item of significant value to you. Not money, of course. Something that's more emotionally valuable. And I can tell you the name of your parents.
That information is useless to me.
What about your birth name?
It matters not.
Oh, how unfortunate then. If you don't wish to know where you're from, those are always great places to start.
The world is vast.
Yes, and what's the name of some
Location.
township or countryside helping you if you don't know the faces or the names?
But what does a name help if I do not know the location?
Isaac is tempted to step up and help the femoid with logical reasoning.
Do you want to grant permission?
I mean, interrupt if you must.
Isaac would like to step up and say, "Good sir, one can find a town on a map, but one cannot find one's name on a map."
Well, I already said something like that, so...
I'm articulating it more explicitly, so he has less room to wiggle worm out of.
Town names change, even if you find the world, find the continent, find the town. Well,
Yes.
something approximating the town. How would you know what you're looking for once there?
We need only collect the maps. We need only collect a certain variant, like histories of maps. Maps do not disappear when their town names change, now do they? Even if the town's name has changed, there surely still is a record of it under that name.
Ah, but here's someone that wasn't
We
listening.
are,
The past
we
showed the
are, after all,
woods.
scholars.
Alec pipes up and he says, if we learn your parents' names, their names might be indicative of what region they're from, what culture they were from that others might recognize and be like, oh, that's a name from such and such a place.
Isaac would like to offer the clown a piece of silver and say, instead of their names, how about their positions? And we shall determine if that is worthy information, if their names are worth this object of significant value.
Well, flash me more silver if you wish, but I already indicated such a thing with the cards.
Yeah, I'm actually not interested in their names.
Yes, but if they're noblemen, for example, their names are immensely valuable. But if they're peasants, they're not valuable. Names can be valuable depending on who they are.
We already know they're not from society. There probably wouldn't be an actual tactile record of their existence.
High-armed one takes claim to be scholars. Funnily enough, the only one that's armed out of all of them is the one with the bucket on his head.
A wizard is always armed. And look at us, we have 2 arms each, right?
And beware Beware your armies, they come out of your sleeveys. Okay. He then swipes the cards off the table and puts them at the bottom of the deck he has on his left. Well, if you're not interested, you're not interested. I don't seek to coax your goods out of you.
Bucket approaches him and asks, "Can another pay this debt?"
I don't see why you would be able to. It is nothing of significant value to yourself.
If I gave something of my own significant value, would I be able to pay for my friend?
Only your past can pay for your past. It can't pay for someone else's. The cards do not work that way.
Isaac shuffles through his possessions and brings out the Zappy wand. We technically still had that when we were booted out.
Yes. William has the other one.
Yes. Isaac asks, would this suffice?
It would suffice as... Well, it barely suffices as payment for a question you had. For your own purposes.
I'm fairly certain the only thing that can be given up is from Theta, not your possessions.
Yeah. Do you have anything you can give up, Theta? Well, I mean, be ashamed to waste all this time to learn basically nothing.
So nothing that's really interesting.
Isaac is actually quite intrigued.
I mean,
about the general process itself. Isaac would want his pass read too, just to see how similar it comes out.
Well then, step right up. Offer the coin, and I'll offer you the cards.
He offers him the same silver he offered before.
Alright, like with Fia, he takes the silver and puts it on the top of the card deck. You notice that the silver that was there before is gone. The one that Fia handed him. He seems to do something different with the cards. He like rotates the deck from like half the deck. He just rotates it over and over in his hands, and then he claps the deck together, then slaps down the 3 more cards. He points to the card on Isaac's farthest left. Your past. Your farthest past. He flips the card over and there's a tower. He says, there is very little of your infancy that left its mark on this world, but for the tower. The tower is a place of isolation. You had very little at the outside world. Nothing but this tower left a mark upon you. You may have been caged to it, or you may have been there on your own volition. You might have had very little choice at all in that matter. But nevertheless, the tower is a place of isolation, and you are a beast of that isolation. He moves his hand to the next card over, and he flips it over. There's a constellation on that card, and the label says stars, though it's upside down to you. We have here for you the reverse stars. The stars are a guiding sign. Some goal that you've wanted to reach. But the reverse, you have no one goal. You have thousands. You are a person that seeks without limits. You are the void between. You don't really care where you've been or what you're reading even. You just care that there's something to read, something to observe. And he turns over the last card. There is an image of a man with a tri-pointed hat with bells upon it. The label reads at the bottom, Fool. You are carefree in this pursuit for the void. You have abandoned much, but very little that was actually important to you to reach it. You will continue this pursuit on into the future, no doubt. Unless, of course, the cards persuade you otherwise. Then he leans back in his chair. Quite a difficult road you have walked to get where you are now.
Isaac is basically just stuck contemplating the information he's been provided. He's gonna have a good long inner monologue, just contemplating the philosophy of what he's been presented.
I would just like to note this man is a charlatan. Clearly, Isaac has one goal in mind, and that goal is peak autism.
The goal to achieve peak autism. What is better amplified by the combination of the fool and the void?
I am curious what he'd say about me. So I step up to the table and toss him a silver coin.
There is a light though in Isaac's eyes. There is something that's going to change because of this reading.
All right. The man nods his head and receives Friedrich's silver coin. He picks up the cards and slaps the coin on top of the deck again. He does something far more visually complex. Valak is still going to use your 24 sleight of hand roll. He does actually seem now to shift the positions of the cards around in his hands and even forms a bridge between the two before collapsing the deck together. He slaps the 3 cards back on. He slaps 3 more cards face down on the table. He doesn't waste much time before flipping over the first one. What is there is a large fortified structure of stone, the tops of which are well crenulated. The label at the bottom of the card reads Castle. You have come from a rather fortunate to most background. You were able to receive education. You've definitely lived among the native population into a more military background. You have tried to gain much status in this, but your efforts were to no avail, of course. The reason why, he turns the card over and there's the reverse dagger. A dagger that's planted in the ground, but of course the ground is on the top and the label is reading upside down as dagger to you. The dagger is a sign of trickery and betrayal. Upside down indicates some measure of honor or valor or some form of code. You were put into a position where you could not betray someone. This impeded you greatly. For where you're from, to betray was as breathing. It was the only way to climb up your status. And he turns the last card over. The knight, he says, as on the face of the card there's the imagery of a man wearing armor and cloaked in some heraldry. He says the knight is a soldier of sorts. You once were simply on the pay of others, but you've obtained a sense of what you must do in this world. It is a great sensation to have, and hopefully you don't sway from that path. For most people do seek a sense of belonging or a desire to know where they're headed. But combined with the reverse dagger, you've lost much to reach here, and you're not fighting for your people or your nation. You found purpose in possibly strangers to you. And I do suppose I'm at least slightly correct in that assumption, he says before leaning back from the cards.
Yes. I'm surprised he didn't read anything about the bucket.
There is no face card for the bucket.
Shouldn't there be a reverse bucket?
No, the reverse bucket would indicate that you're bailing out everything.
Okay, if nobody else wants to do a history reading, we should probably go to the future. Future
Actually,
topic.
Valak has a question he wants to ask. He steps up and he says, "How specific of a question are you able to answer about our past?" I have a very specific question about our recent past that I would like to ask, but
The man ponders for a moment, and he asks in return, might I have an example? It is difficult to just answer yes to these things. I do not wish to leave you disappointed.
So, say someone that we know that we're all intimately acquainted with was attacked, but we don't know who the attacker was. Would you be able to answer who it was?
He ponders longer. I might not be able to find a name or an appearance, though it may be possible. Best I can give you are clues. Clues that might lead you back to the perpetrator, for example. It depends on how recent this was, and if such concerns are worldly, friend.
It was no more than 2 weeks ago is when we were kicked out of the tower or something.
Very well. I can definitely try if you're willing to pay for something of personal value to you. Do you wish to skip your own card reading for this?
Yes. I'm not interested in a general knowledge of my past. I'm more curious about this specific question.
Of course you aren't. He says with a slight smile. He then holds out his hand. If you're not paying, then
Oh, I can pay money. How much would you like?
like I said, sir, this must be something of personal value to you. Money is less objective than that.
Valak searches his person for a moment, and then he pulls out his favored deck of playing cards that have been marked, and he hands them over.
The man receives them. He looks through the cards for a moment, and then lays them down on the table. These will do. Now tell me, who is the... Well, you said it happened 2 weeks ago. Who was attacked?
Our adoptive father, the man that raised all of us.
The hooded man nods his head and was shuffling the cards while Valak explained. Not his cards, though. Valak's cards. And then after a moment, he lays 2 cards down onto the table. It looks like fortunes favor clues more than names or answers. He flips over the first one, and there's it's not in a similar art style of the cards that he was playing with, nor is it with the art of whatever Valak's cards were. It just shows a pictogram of what you can assume would be like a portal or a mirror. He says, is this any bit of a clue to you?
Perhaps. Our father always had a mask, or it possibly could have been his actual head that was a mirror.
Oh? Then he puts his hand on the second card, and instead of immediately lifting it up, he seems to peek under it for a moment. He taps his finger on the table and then swiftly turns it over. Similarly to the last one, it's a stylized pictograph. It's a round object, spherical, one could say. The man, though, looks kind of distressed seeing these cards together. Your past does reveal some odd things, doesn't it?
I expect so. Yeah.
If I might ask, what is the name of your adoptive father?
Mirrorball.
Well, these are strange clues to provide for asking for the identity of who tried to assault your father.
On the contrary, I think it confirms something that I suspected.
He nods his head. I hope it does. He then flips both the cards over before adding them back to Valak's deck. He then says, I can return the cards to you, but any magic that was left in them is now gone. I've consumed them with that simple spell of mine. And he then looks aside, then back at the crowd. if anyone else was interested, I believe I'm done with readings for the day. My apologies. He then stands up. Do not let the door hit you on your way out. I do sincerely mean this.
Can one of you do sense motive on him, because he's acting real shifty?
Was just about to ask. Yeah.
That second card was not supposed to show up all. He forced it to.
Okay, Valek's sense motive, since it's the highest there, shows that the man is in distress. It wasn't like he's guilty of lying or something, but he's distressed about the outcome of the cards and all the context he's probably heard in the conversation leading up to it. Let's see. And Valek would have a hunch that the man is trying to leave to tell someone.
Well, we gotta follow him, right? If we'll ever get a chance, it's now.
Well, there's also always the option of intimidate. Does anyone have that?
He's in his home turf. That's a remarkable check to make. You'd be better off making a stealth check to follow him.
I have a 9 intimidate, so I probably could, but it's up to the dice.
Intimidate would probably be a bad move here. We've already seen, remember when the pickpocket tried to pickpocket Fia and I conjured the lion and the clowns weren't particularly happy about it. And I think intimidate would probably be a bad move.
So sneaky sneak then.
Yeah. I have a 6 in stealth. Does anybody have better than that?
8.
I don't have basically any stealth.
I have a 1, but I touch the tent itself and use my ghost ability. Do I like phase through it? Like, does my hand phase through? Or
when you use your ghost ability, telling me this now, not like you did this or anything. You become see-through, but you don't become harder to spot.
No, I mean the phase ability, the phase one.
Phase one?
One where I can phase through walls.
Yeah, basically Cal's affirming that he even can phase through these tents.
Yeah, he can definitely phase through walls.
Yeah, walls, but we're in a magic circus. We need to test our hypothesis before going forward with the plan.
Yes, I was about to say that. Just is it even possible for me to move through the walls here?
You would have to test that.
That's what I'm testing. That's why I'm
basically turn his finger into a ghost and poke it through the tent.
Yes, that's what I'm doing. That's why I said I use my ghost abilities and just move my hand through the thing.
That takes up 1 round of your wraith form to do that. You comply.
Yep.
All right, so you do that and you poke your finger through the wall of the tent.
Alright, so which way did he go exactly?
He didn't go anywhere yet. You've just
No, like which way did he?
No, he didn't go anywhere yet. He just requested you guys to leave.
Alright, and I'm standing towards the back, so yeah.
We thought he had already left.
No, I thought it was just also with the other people speaking, so yeah.
Cal, if you're currently inside a wall, can you see out of that wall?
Kind of, I think so. Can I? Done?
Well, you did it before when looking into a tomb, so I won't know why not.
Big up on your half. I'm still in a weird spot from being stuck, so yay.
Because I'm just thinking we can leave the tent and you can just phase through the floor, looking
The
and
dirt.
follow him. Yeah.
You know he doesn't have a fly speed, right?
Oh.
I do
Yeah,
actually.
So you're oh, you do have
Wait,
a fly
you do
speed
it?
now?
I think I've
Basically-
had one for a while.
I press X.
Isaac has noticed another thing. He likes to. He would like to look at the entrance of the tent to see if there even is a door.
No, you do not have a flight speed. Okay, so what do you say?
Can this tent be argued to even have a door? It's an important question, and you'll see why in a minute.
Void fool as you are, yes. There is no door, conventional door. It'd just be flaps of the tent.
So Isaac will call out to Isabel, like, sister, there is no door. You don't need to phase through for it not to hit you.
Espo just looks at him as it just says by sheer facial expressions of "You're a fucking retard." You know, the person in the back just faces her hand through a tent, testing it. Just looks at him like he's a fucking retard. God.
The occupant of the tent turns around to face away from the group. He lowers his hood and then puts on a four-pointed cap on his head. Jingling bells.
Hold on. How long? How long is his robe?
Long.
Does someone have anything sticky that Isaac could use as a teleport beacon?
What, anyone here got some gum?
If I have something sticky.
I'm pretty sure most of the men in this party have something sticky.
Shit.
God damn it, I was gonna make a joke. Just give Isaac 3 minutes and some time with that toilet.
Excuse me for excuse the thing I just did. Didn't mean to click that.
Isabel apparently has a deck of crads.
Yes.
Oh, God.
I remarked on this when
Fuck.
when Cal
I don't know.
wrote it,
Also know.
and he never changed it.
I'm in one of those days. Time.
No, it's not one of those days. It was one of those days a half a year back.
Forever. Yeah.
Anyway, deck of crads aside, the man.
Remember, Cal, I'm playing a high int character, not a high whiz character.
The man picks up the deck of cards, his deck of cards from the table, and removes his robe, and then strides on past you guys with some haste.
This is not teleporting away.
No, he's not teleporting away. No. How curious.
Yeah. Well, who's the best?
I leave the tent.
Yeah, we should all leave the tent, but try keeping an eye on him.
Yes, Valak would like to change his glamour to look like another random person in the crowd, and then he'll leave the tent and would like to follow several yards behind the man that left the tent, the card reader.
All right, and William, not really knowing the intricacies of what Valak is doing, swiftly starts following after
Thea,
him.
Does it
knowing
all
the
go-
intricacies of stealth, pulls him back.
Yeah,
What are you doing?
both
sir?
femoids just grab him.
Man seized by femoids.
What are you doing, sister?
What are you doing, stepsister?
I need to have people have a separate suite of jokes than I do. Alright, and a moment later after you guys leave well, I assume most everyone here that is speaking has decided to leave the tent. The flaps of the tent close, despite there being no one to pull on the drawstrings or anything like that.
Curious.
Hmm.
But not our main problem right now. Automated doors are for later.
Yes, things out of order are best left out of order.
We'll stick an out of order sign on them eventually, don't worry.
That's another good point. What happens if we stick an out of order sign on this tent?
Curious. Anyway, Valak, you're doing stalking. Stealth check. Okay.
Oh, damn.
Nice.
My man's shadow.
Everything's coming up Valak.
Valak
Right.
literally not making any noise. Bucket behind him. Clang, clang, clang.
Oh.
Of course. Or a natural 20.
Ooh.
Alright, so
Oh, fucking hell.
the man striding along glances back over his shoulder to see someone in the crowd, someone he doesn't know in particular, though, following him. He then picks up the pace and decides to dart away from the direction of the big tent that he was first going. Going into
Valak would.
Okay.
Is there, I don't know, like an elephant or something that Valak can duck behind quickly and change his glamour quickly again to look like a completely different person?
Yes, you can. Yeah, you can definitely duck like behind the tent flaps in the area, and just stand up again and be a different person. Yeah.
And then he would like to continue trying to follow
The poor fortune teller being followed by a face-changing devil.
an autistic
What do you mean?
face-changing devil.
What do you mean? He's being followed by 3 different people. It's not a face change. Don't worry about it.
Roll stealth again.
Okay. You have given him some time and lead trying to change form. You see him off in the distance, and he passes by a couple of the clowns with the two pointed hats, and you don't see like facial expressions or anything because, well, they're masked. You need a perception check for that. Well, unless you want to hear things. Yeah, roll perception. Let's just. Yeah, you don't perceive anything from that distance and with the noise of the crowd. one of the clowns turns to look in Valek's direction.
Valak will nonchalantly turn to whatever kind of vendor or attraction is near him and pretend to take interest in that.
Okay. Let's do a roll of bluff. Yep, you do find a particularly interesting kebab stand over there to pay attention to. And you even make it look like you're trying to start a conversation with the stand owner, who appears to have well, no, he's not even a clown. He's an actual person with an apron and whatnot.
Valak will actually go ahead and buy a kebab since he's hungry anyways.
All right,
Make a constitution check.
3 copper coins for
Also
a kebab.
planning for a future visit to the toilet.
3 copper coins for a kebab. Good Valak.
Okay.
All right. While you were making your purchase, you turn back and see that the clowns have disappeared. They're not following you or anything, but you've kind of lost track of where your target went. So you do have the vague direction of where he was meaning to travel, or where you can assume he was meaning to travel to.
Well, you mean to the big tent that he was originally headed towards, or like where he tried to start going after he changed direction?
You have no clue what the landmarks are, so you can only assume the original destination.
Okay. So Valak will then head back towards the rest of the party, and at some point along the way, he will find another place to duck behind and change his disguise back to the original glamour that he usually uses for a human face.
Hey, you're not our illusionist. Who do you think you are? Alright, so you return to the group. It's been like a few minutes. The group has just been standing outside the tent, milling about, I assume. Though William's kind of perturbed that Fia made him feel left out from whatever Valak is doing.
Actually, when Valak was at the kebab stand, he'll have bought a second kebab for William and hand that to him.
Here you go, sport, a souvenir. Your very own kebab with mystery meat.
Are there any checks for what kind of meat that would be?
How
many meats?
There are a couple
You'll
different
be
kinds of
lucky if
meats.
it. You'll be
Knowledge
lucky if
nature?
it is-
Knowledge nature would probably be approximate.
Is this even kebab?
I can tell.
Valak has
I have
cooking
I
to
have
do.
1 point in every knowledge check, so it's all +5.
Arizim thinks it's tofu. Valak, you know the method by which kebabs are cooked, so good job. Looking at it, Isaac can guess there's some form of beef and pork impaled on that. Though it's good chances of it being some otherworldly creature that's analogous to either of those things. But the meat has been sufficiently seared, as Valak's craft cook would provide him the knowledge of. There is no danger of eating such meats.
Collectively, we decide these things are not our on the toilet kebabs, at least.
Yes, they're not from Taco Bell or Chipotle.
That's a good point. We should probably create something analogous.
A restaurant chain of kebabs instead of hunting down whoever killed your father.
The autism chain restaurant. Who can forget?
You know,
Maribel
probably wanted us to do this.
To
Yes,
be
he definitely wanted
up.
us distributing a chain restaurant that gives crowns to our customers so that they can be kings.
Yes. Yes.
I know
Yes.
you're referencing
Yes.
Burger King,
Yes.
but
Yes.
here, King, you dropped your crown.
Should we go after this man?
Isaac has
people
gotten
going
thoroughly
after this
distracted
man?
with his plans for chain restaurant after seeing the kebab.
Alright, so Valak comes back. Isaac witnesses a kebab in Valak's hands, and immediately Isaac is demonstrating that the fortune teller was completely accurate. You don't care what it is. You're interested in everything unconditionally.
Not unconditionally. It has to at least be amusing. What's amusing?
What's fucking amusing
no question.
about a kebab?
Well,
He's
the idea-
autistic, and it's amusing for some reason.
You see, it's not the kebab, it's the friends we make along the way.
What friends
Maybe
have
the
you
kebab.
made over kebab this day?
Do you not make friends every time you go out for kebab? Savages, I swear.
So, anyways, Valak will explain to the rest of the party that originally it appeared as if the card reader was making a beeline for the big tent, but then he seemed to be turned around and seemed to notice that that someone was following him, and so then he headed towards a pair of the clowns, and after that Valak lost track of him when he was attempting to throw off the clowns, who seemed to be the security around here.
Are the clowns in the room with us now?
Clowns are calling from inside the house.
Seriously though, do we see any of the security clowns around?
I mean, you can definitely see a clown here or there, but you don't know what qualifies as a security clown, as Valak put it.
Would Valak know
Isaac?
what qualifies as a security clown then?
Well, they had 2 pointed hats, the security clowns. So, do all the clowns seem to have 2 pointed hats?
When you look around, you mainly see 2-pointed and 3-pointed around the area.
Wasn't the hat that he was wearing 4-pointed?
Yes, the person Valak was chasing has 4-pointed. Yeah.
And then Isaac
Maybe the
will
points indicate
very
some
autistically
sort of
point out that it
range.
was 4 points.
Maybe the number of points on the hat is some sort of ranking system among them.
Isaac
Then,
agrees with this inference.
Can I roll intelligence to see if I can remember the clowns that gave the what were involved with the pickpocket? How many bells they had?
You can, yeah, you can roll for that.
I did not. I don't remember how many they had.
All right, you can roll for it.
Intelligence. There we go.
Isaac,
Nope,
Isaac completely forgets.
Isaac completely
Literally.
attached to his concept of Tower King or whatever his restaurant idea is.
Yes, that's so perfect. Oh, thank you, Bernie, for once again.
It's a fucking retard
Bright is also
convention
too
here.
interested in Tower King.
Tell me more about Tower King.
I mean, I was looking for.
Isaac begins pitching to him the concept of chain restaurants and
Okay, I was
fast
looking.
food.
I was looking for a DC of 15 Bell. Fia would remember. God, even the GM doesn't remember. I'm just gonna say 2 pointed. Yeah, 2 pointed.
Isaac and Bright go aside just to have a nice conversation about Tower King.
I just realized something. There's always one. There's always one way of getting the security on us.
Mm-hmm.
Does it involve crafting paper crowns?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe if we get on airplanes. Maybe if we get on airplanes wearing those paper crowns.
I don't think we're trying. to
Is
get
there any
them
paper
security
laying
on.
around, Vernon, that we can craft crowns with?
Surely this place would have let's-
Anyway,
Can you just conjure one?
anyhow.
Yes, I could, but they're too temporary. That's a waste of spell points.
2 Alpha pops up in the middle of this very engaging conversation involving crowns and says, the man was suspicious to you, right?
Yes.
Yes,
And you lost track of him.
Yes.
unfortunately.
She sighs to herself. Then would it not be pertinent to just go in the direction of the big tent?
It might, but he told security about us.
No, he told security about someone following him. I was disguised as some other person.
Someone is us if we entered into that tent.
And William, to completely just derail this, speaks up. Why do we need to enter a tent to get this person?
Well, that's where he was planning to go before we changed
Isaac.
directions.
Let's think. Let's do another intelligence check to see if Isaac comes to this conclusion too. It's pretty tough.
That's neither
You
here
see-
nor there.
There's that future teller outside. Shouldn't there be?
Yep, he is the one with
Didn't
the
we
crystal
ask him
ball.
where he went?
I mean, yeah. Alright, so I'm assuming Isaac, whipped by the femoid, of course, decides, oh yes, instead of restaurant chains, how about I focus on the task at hand?
Yes, the
Because
restaurants
someone's-
can be set up later.
And entirely because someone's twisting your arm to do so. Not because you're particularly interested in this endeavor.
Like I'm solving the problem Well, not because it's important, because it's getting in the way of my current like thing I want to do.
Exactly.
Bucket stops Isaac and says, if we get to the bottom of this, we might be able to find how they're using the tickets to travel around. That would surely boost the restaurant sales.
That's Isaac will most definitely be able to craft those soon, Tian.
You're trying to connect his prior line of tism to this new line of tism. It's not going to work like you expect. Anyway,
Just think if we could figure out the toilets, what kind of toilet facilities we could have in Tower King.
In which direction would they flush in? Anyway,
all of them at once.
It's an omnidirectional flush.
Yes.
Oh boy.
You know, Isabel's gonna be productive and says,
Okay, so Isaac and
"Right here. I'll be back in a little while."
Okay.
As she simply walks off and goes towards the area of the larger tent. But instead of
Isaac
going
says a
directly,
silent prayer for his sister.
looks at other places and other things around the place.
Idly glances aside at Esbel's trait. Going alone. Got it.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so
again, Isaac silently prays for Isabel.
Isaac, you go up to that the fortune teller. The man also robed the violet robes instead of blue, unlike the other fortune teller. He waves his arms out wide as if he's trying to embrace you from across the table. Welcome. Do you wish to know your future? Where your path leads you?
He inquires about the cost of his services.
1 silver coin to read your future.
In the same vein that Valk did, he asks if I can ask specific questions about my future.
Specific questions about your future. That is
Isaac chimes in to help him out. It is a specific question about my immediate future.
He nods his head. Yes, the usual price is something of importance, but I sense you have a more worldly question to ask.
Isaac says, yes, we have unfortunately lost track of something We've lost a friend.
You know how the carnival gets. It's large and it's full of people.
The past isn't my purview. It's the future that I am interested in.
Yes, but surely we will find him eventually, will we not? We just simply wish to expedite the process.
Who would this friend be? He asks, putting his hand on the crystal ball.
It's actually your co-worker, the past teller. He appears to have vanished from his tent.
He is a flighty one, isn't he? Welcome back, Valak.
Yes, perhaps it'd be best if we found where he was so he could get back to his job, don't you think?
Isaac chimes in and says, yes, my friends are oddly concerned with his location. And in order for me to get what I want done for my future, we need to know where he is going to be. I heavily emphasize going to be instead of is.
Okay, going to be. Let me get a visual representation for myself really quick. Alright, Alright, so he says, well, it is your friend, but... How difficult you make things for me. Yes, get me give me an item of moderate importance from your person, and I'll do his payment, and I'll provide you a brief glimpse at your immediate future.
Isaac breaks out the wand again and says, "My friend told me that this is of," he emphasizes, "moderate significance."
That is too significant, then. Do you have anything less significant?
Let's see, what going additional. Let's see. I have the daggers that I've been playing with the entire time we've been traveling.
Alright, then that will do.
It's an odd thing to see Isaac giving up metal, but okay.
Yes, this definitely elevates his position as moderately important. It is metal after all, but it is.
But it is not something that was handed to him by his father.
Yes.
All right, so he takes the offered dagger and then he violently jams it into that into the crystal ball he has there. He then looks into the. Nope. The ball kind of just ripples for a moment as it absorbs the dagger, and then then the dagger vanishes. When the ball is gazed at, the surface becomes cloudy instead of clear. In fact, it seems like a vortex of clouds are just swirling within it. The man then sits down at the chair and puts his hands on both sides of the ball. The clouds part, but you can't really distinguish the contents within. He nods and says, "I see." He then lifts his head. For your moderate offering, I give you the offering of D8. Yes, D8. That is where your friend is headed.
D8?
D8, yes.
Isaac will ask if there's any if there are any brochures for sale in this carnival depicting local important attractions.
Oh, you won't find it on. Well, he then holds his hand to his chin. Oh yes, I guess you would find D out on a map. But unfortunately, we do not have a map. We don't map our carnival every time we stop. How may I help you? He then moves the crystal ball aside and starts setting things on the table. He sets out a board that is in a checker pattern. He starts putting random objects, and at the very end of the table, he puts a taller object, something like a salt shaker or something, at the very opposite end of the table from him. He points at that salt shaker. That would be D8.
So we know approximately where it is in relation to our current position, then.
Oh yes. Right.
No, we know it's big.
He then travels. He then moves his finger down the board through all the random obstacles, and between two thumbtacks. Not thumbtacks. God, what is that? A thumbtack? No, that's thimble.
Thimble?
Yeah, thimble. Between two thimbles, you are here. And looking outside, and what you see in the cardinal direction is towards the shaker. is that big tent on the horizon.
Thank you.
Isaac will offer him a gold coin tip and say, "Thank you, good sir. Surely, as a man in your field, you know how valuable time is."
Oh yes, time passes by every moment, but the future is ever expanding. He says as he takes the coin. But money is not worth time. But I'll accept it anyway.
I pause before we leave. Can I ask one more question?
You may try.
Do you, in our future, do you read the name Tower King anywhere?
I'm afraid that he glimpses at the ball. He then sits down again, sighing, peering into the cloudy confines. It is something that is flummoxed by your lacking attention and pursuit towards it.
What a shame. Shall we, gentlemen?
Yes, it seems that all forces seem to be conspiring to draw us to the large tent. Much like water flowing down a toilet.
God damn it.
But do we walk towards this tent clockwise or counterclockwise?
Or omnidirectional. Alright, so you...
Well, we certainly don't enter from the front.
Alright, so you start moving back towards the big tent as a group. One of the smaller tents off to the side of the pathway that you go through opens up its flaps a little. There's a man with a half mask and a one pointed hat peering out from within. He says, "Psst, psst, hey, you there? Yeah, you with the curly gray wig."
Wig. Isaac is incensed.
Question: is the half mass split vertically, or is it split
Horizontal?
Horizontally.
Like a superhero's mask, it covers the eyes and above the
Gotcha.
nose.
I was afraid this man was going to give us COVID.
No, it's not a hospital mask. No.
All right.
Isaac acts as if he didn't call him specifically, and makes a very obvious gesture that his hair is real.
The man sighs and says, "Psst, man with the illusion over fiendish guys, come here."
I can see through illusions.
Alec will pretend that he's look around as if who's disguising themselves as disguising their fiendish nature. It's certainly not me.
Do I have to go down the list?
Bucket, upon hearing you who are disguising your fiendish nature, just walks up to him.
Oh, hey, it's the man that thinks he has a bucket on his head. Yes, hello, you. Could you have your friends come along? I heard you were trying to get to the big tent.
Come along now. He might be of help.
Isaac looks back and then mentions to him, "You're welcome to come with us, brother."
Are you talking to the...
Yes, I just straight up say to him as if he means like he intends us to go his way. No. He's coming with us.
Hey, look there, Baldy.
Yep.
You're going to be walking for miles if you go that direction.
In what direction should we head?
Well, in here, I got a closet in the back that will help you get to the big tent. Right in time for the show.
Enter a creepy man's closet. That doesn't sound like a trap at all.
You know, if
So-
they wanted to make it easier to find this tent, perhaps they should, like, you know, make some kind of obviously marked road there, like perhaps out of
Look,
some
the
brightly
grounds are
colored bricks.
big, and we are actually we over invited people this year. It is very crazy.
Oh,
Hell,
you
it's
know,
a-
if you made the road out of like some sort of brightly colored bricks, like I don't know, maybe yellow or something.
Well,
I would, but too many people got
take
distracted trying to pick up the bricks.
let's just take the magic wardrobe.
Hmm. It is safe to assume that this wardrobe would be spatial, right?
One can assume, yes.
If it were, would Isaac get a spellcraft check to make sure it leads to the correct place?
No.
And Isaac is not taking it.
A spellcraft check would just reveal what the nature of the spell is. It wouldn't reveal direction. Maybe like a
Does the closet have free candy written on the side?
candy with a K, yes.
Actually, on second thought, Isaac comes to a realization and says, "Bro, good sir, do you sell these closets?"
No, we have trouble getting people out of them.
I don't want to be gender bent on arrival, good sir.
Well, then why would we get into
Oh, no,
it if we'd have people getting out of it?
No gender bending. That's the other closet.
What's this one do then?
Oh, it's a perfectly normal wardrobe, but there's an entrance to the big tent hidden behind it.
So I have a question, Verdon. If we shoved one of our sisters in that closet, would they get a bonus to intelligence?
That's the other closet, but probably.
No, I'm not going to answer that question. On the very off chance that Susan's listening.
Bonus intelligence minus charisma.
They get the bad tism in exchange for +2 intelligence?
The bad tism, as if there's good tism.
Autism is good.
Isaac is very...
The man shrugs. Do you want the free ride or not?
Isaac is even more skeptical that he heard the word free.
Nothing in this world is free.
No, except for college here. Look crazy how that works.
What happened to your mask? Why are you only wearing half of it?
Oh, I don't get the full one yet. It's kind of how the gig works.
Isaac asks where you can apply for this gig.
You kidding? You looking to apply? Jeez, you gotta... he kind of rifles through his person. I didn't hear anything about this, but, yeah, actually, I think that, that feller that, is pretending that he's not a fiend, or has a fast track application. Yeah, I'm kind of low on the totem pole here. If find any 3-point guy, he turns up his palms empty. They'll hand him over a mask. Yeah, join our happy carnival here.
Isaac thanks him for his time, or his advice. Basically, now we've confirmed that our hypothesis on how the point hat works. It was pretty obvious, but still, it's nice to confirm things.
Well, it wasn't even Isaac's hypothesis, though.
Yes, but he has a problem in front of him to solve before he gets back to his Tower King. And he's going to solve it as quickly and as efficiently as he can, so he can get back to his Tism.
Well, I suppose the quickest way to find out where this closet leads is by taking it, then.
Isaac asks the person if this closet can transport objects.
Well, you're kind of an object, aren't you?
Yes, but I am not magically attuned.
No, but you're a tool.
Isaac takes a good minute to think about this. No, sir, I think I'm more of a weapon.
If you say so, champ.
Is it a weapon, just a special tool?
You're not just a tool, you're a sharp tool.
Isaac nods at this. Yes, that is much more appropriate. Basically, Isaac is asking if he could chuck his teleport beacon inside of the closet.
You're just trying to get to the same destination, but by
a much safer means. Yes.
Well, you'll still have to arrive at the location with the teleport beacon.
No, it is significantly different, Verdant. You see, the closet can fail n times as many people go through it. My beacon can't. My beacon can only fail once going through it, and we don't feel any consequences for that failure. Now, my beacon successfully goes through, and we get to the other destination. There is zero risk for us following the beacon. At least in the teleport itself. There is a significant difference between these two, Verdant. I am not getting in that closet until my beacon doesn't work in it.
Alright, you're not going to the closet. I understand, yeah.
We're out of the closet and proud of it.
Exactly.
Straight pride. We are super straight.
Oh boy. Alright, anyway, he says, yeah, you can put an object in there. You gotta walk through the closet, right?
Isaac looks at it questioningly as of why he would have to do such a thing if the object can arrive at the other end. It's just completely oblivious to why normal people need to use other objects to teleport.
You gotta walk into it, smartass.
I'm imagining this is played by like Danny DeVito or Joe Pesci. It's like, come on, get a closet.
I'd lean on Joe Pesci myself for this one.
What do you want? You just get in the damn closet. Come on.
Okay, I'm gonna do something hilarious. I'm gonna go past the closet and just go through the other side of the tent. Just stand like fuck, how to describe it properly.
You're gonna
stand next to it, go to the side of it, and go.
Isaac is admiring Isabel for her bravery of entering a teleportation device the wrong way.
No. I'm going through the tent, the wall, not the closet.
What? So you're
I was going to go through. So closet, going next to it, going for the I'm assuming we're next to a tent wall,
So
correct?
you're going through the wall of the tent next to the closet.
Yes.
Okay, you're outside the tent.
To make it. Let's make sure it is actually a teleport device.
Isaac looks at the man.
Trying to make.
Looks at the man offering us the closet and says, "See, good sir, what I have to deal with. I have to be extra paranoid, wrangling these people through spatial devices."
God damn it! I was trying to be funny.
Well, you did make sense.
Yes, and you were for the wrong reasons.
I should just be quiet.
Isaac makes it a point to say, "See, good sir, there's a reason I'm paranoid about using magic devices with these people around me."
Look, numbnuts, it's very simple. There's an open door, I'll walk through it.
Isaac, upon hearing that it's a door, begins inspecting for hinges.
There are hinges, it's a fucking closet on the outside.
Yes, but are they inside hinges or external hinges? It is feasible that a spatial door would not contain hinges.
What do you mean by external? Yes, they're outward facing
Yes.
hinges.
Excellent. So, Isaac asks
Are you
man,
going
what
to
would
remove
happen
the
if I
hinges
put
from the door? Are you going to be removing the hinges from the door?
No, Isaac asks the good man, like, what would happen if this device was missing a door?
Well, it'd still be a doorway.
So it's not the door that's special, it's the cabinet.
Yes. The last time.
All right, can I just
Can
I just roll
the
a sense-
closet and you walk out into the tent.
Can I just roll a sense
Jesus
motive
Christ.
on both of them?
Okay, sense motive on Isaac reveals he's being autistic.
No, sense motive on Isaac reveals that he is paying the clowns back for their teasing.
Okay. No, I know. Okay, as well as the clown as well. Mainly the clown.
Okay,
Is he
that's
telling the
actually
truth
roll
and it's
for that
gonna be a
one.
teleporter what takes it? Yes, that's what I was asking if I could do. God damn it.
You don't fucking know.
Basically, Isaac's motive is to mess with the clowns as much as they mess with him.
The clown's gonna turn to Chappelle like,
As the fellow troll.
Yeah, so the clown is kind of irritated in the fact that you're not getting it. That's what you sense. Is he's trying to lead a dumbass to water. The only toms we approve of here are tomboys, right?
What if tomboys did the tomfoolery, though?
That would be exceptionally blessed.
Yes.
Tomboy tomfoolery is exceptionally blessed indeed.
So
Only Joe foolery is allowed in.
Can I ask the clown if they have any tomboys working here?
Maybe on the other side of the. Not where I work. God damn it.
Isaac consoles him for his loss. Basically,
Wouldn't you just go through the
like he
fucking
give very sympathetic look of "Oh, you poor thing."
Put your sympathies into putting one foot in front of the other.
He puts one foot in front of the other, away from the cabinet.
Look, would you just go through the freaking closet already?
God, what was
Isaac before he gets Isaac before he gets genuinely frustrated with us will actually step through the cabinet.
Brother don't want no help? He don't get no help. Alright,
But before he does, he leaves his return beacon with Bright.
All
okay,
right.
you leave your return beacon with Bright, and we're at almost 2 hours, so I'm gonna cut the session short right there. Because everyone loves a cliffhanger.
Will
Right,
he
thank you.
emerge on the other side as the tomboy? That's the question.
No, because he doesn't have real hair. If I only made that ginger transferring clause instead here. Anyway, thank you everyone for joining this exercise in autism known as All Mage Party, episode 16. We will be doing this again, hopefully next week, if circumstances permit, but I must eat so we can't continue any longer. Anyone have any words for the audience before I shut it down, Goyam?
Yeah, I'm all good.
I
I gotta
hope
get
you're
ready.
enjoying
Yes, look forward to the Tower King trademark.
It's never
Saga?
gonna happen.
We're all gonna fucking die.
You say that, but we will unironically build Tower King.
It will be forgotten by the session after next.
It definitely won't.
I am writing in my character's motives right now, Tower King.
You had a fucking shower thought and you took it. Alright, thanks everyone for stopping by. I have the description probably at the wrong time. We will probably be playing this again at 7 p.m. EST, like we have for the past few sessions. Until, of course, we hear otherwise from our Australian friend here. Alright. Have a great night.